Greetings, dark side abominations, skillful mercenaries, and light side knights, and welcome back to the archives of our channel. I have been expecting you. Today we shall be delving into the in-depth history and weapons and equipment that the most best and feared bounty hunter in the entire galaxy used, in my opinion at least, Cad Bane. Cad Bane was a bounty hunter whose prime era reigned from the Galactic Republic through the Clone Wars era, going on many missions assigned personally by Darth Sidious and Count Dooku, the two prominent Sith Lords of the era. It was very unknowingly and not very common for Sidious to ever contact with any separatist sympathizer, so the fact that Cad Bane was given direct contact through holo videos to Sidious was incredibly rare, and showed the esteem that the Sith Lord held the bounty hunter in, showing that even Darth Sidious had respect for some people, and Cad Bane was certainly one he thought was an incredible tool and extremely efficient to be moving around. Cad Bane possessed an arsenal and array of equipment that is unique in design, functionality, and many other trades, being able to project flame blasts, being able to stun even the most powerful Jedi Masters, like Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi and Jedi Master Quinlan Vos, into submission using his wide array of gadgets, toys, and trinkets that he used a long time into the reign of the Galactic Empire, and through the reign of the Galactic Republic up until the end of the Clone Wars. As a Derosian, Cad Bane bore twin crimson eyes and sapphire blue skin, standing at roughly 1.85 meters tall and weighing 75 kilograms in weight. Cad Bane became one of the best, most skillful and proficient bounty hunters in the galaxy, following the demise of his mentor and the mentor of his later rival, Boba Fett. Following Jango Fett's demise, he became the greatest bounty hunter and gun for hire in the entire galaxy, cold, cruel, calculating, and calm, and capable in his line of work more than any other bounty hunter. Bane cared little for the sinister motives of his employers, such as the Sith Lord Darth Sidious, the Hutts, and the sinister motives that Count Dooku orchestrated. Bane, despite the fact that his new pupil was very descended from his own mentor Jango, he did not take any liking to Boba Fett at all. He was very abusive when he trained him in the art of gunslinging and in the art of being a skillful and well-trained mercenary, which made Fett remember his harsh adolescence on his part, that he had no mercy in killing his former mentor during the events of Book of Boba Fett, or at least what we theorized to be death, as Cad Bane very well could have survived this encounter and could still be wandering around the galaxy after sustaining his life in a Bacta tank. He even told Fett to only look out for yourself, and that anything else was a liability, and nothing mattered except your own safety, and everything else was weakness. Cad Bane was a very cunning, conniving, and strategic individual. He often proved capable of outsmarting others, such as Jedi and other criminals and bounty hunters. He showed impressive strategic ability and was more than capable of orchestrating and leading a team effort, despite his preference of working alone, as he believed others slowed him down, despite the latter's proficiency in the abilities, and the other bounty hunters being quite skilled in their own right. Bane's accomplishments and feats during the Clone Wars, many had a detailed Republic file in the Republic records. Bane had something of a quirk when it came to wide-brim hats, and which he heavily preferred wearing, as he saw helmets traditionally worn in Beskar by Jango and Boba Fett, and other beings such as Embo with his shield. It also doubled up as a hat, saw them as cheating, as it protected the wearer from any external head injuries, at least for the time being, if it was made up of a weaker material like Durasteel. If it was made up of Beskar, it was nigh impenetrable to anything in all of Star Wars. This desire was such he was willing to kill another bounty hunter in the attempt of getting another hat, because he liked the hat that he bore, being able to outdraw and out-gunsling him, despite him having the draw first over Bane. He also had a habit of chewing on toothpicks during his missions. Additionally, the hunter spoke down to those younger than him, using terms like son and little lady, when he felt they fit to the scenario. In spite of his ruthlessness and brutality, he did apologize to Omega before he stunned her. Yet he continued with his mission nonetheless, not feeling any guilt or self-centeredness whenever he was able to about to brutalize or kill any being in the entire galaxy. Bane once reflected to himself that the young Boba Fett sometimes reminded him of his younger self as a Derosian bounty hunter, but their relationship eventually soured and dipped. As his age passed, Bane remained bitter and ruthless, killing any who stood in his way of his cunning and ultimate goal of getting credit. He attempted to strike down his former ward in Boba Fett without mercy or discrimination against his former student. Bane looked at Fett with contempt for what had happened between them, determined to kill him even if he played dirty in order to get his ways. Cad Bane was a skilled bounty hunter, nigh unstoppable in the art, and in my opinion the greatest bounty hunter to ever live in all of Star Wars, surpassing Boba, Jango, and Dirge, and many, many others. Cad Bane relied on various weapons as well as wits to defeat his enemies, some much stronger enemies such as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Quinlan Vos, and many Jedi who he outsmarted and beat during the Clone Wars era. He stated to Fennec Shand during the Bad Batch Season 1, where the two mercenaries and combatants dueled for the custody of the genetic replication of Jango Fett Omega, saying that despite her innate skill and practicality in martial arts, but she lacked the experience to go up against Bane. He was fairly proficient in unarmed combat, holding his own in a fight with Fennec Shand using unarmed combat. However, in my opinion, Fennec Shand, with a mastery of martial arts, was more proficient in this ability than him. He was noted for his ability to combat members of the Jedi Order better than nearly any other bounty hunter in history, falling short only of Jango Fett, or possibly I could see them as equals. However, it is up to the eye of the beholder. It was a necessary skill during the Clone Wars, where he was employed by the Sith, and could have been discovered working for the Sith or working in league with the Sith, would have entered him in Republic jail. And the prize for bringing Bane into the Jedi Order into custody was over 1 million credits, a ridiculous amount for a mere mercenary who normally just went about his business. Although he appeared to be less skilled than Boba Fett, as Fett disarmed him and stabbed him to death with his Gaddafi stick during the Book of Boba Fett finale, though this may have been due to Fett being much younger, due to the fact that Fett at this time was 41 and Cad Bane was already exceeding the natural lifespan of his species. The Juro species naturally lives for around 70 years, and during this time, Cad Bane was 71 years old, meaning that Cad Bane during his prime, in my opinion, is a better bounty hunter than Boba Fett. Due to his age, Cad Bane was still able to combat and be faster using his E11 blaster pistol than Boba Fett, proving that even in his youth, Cad Bane was more skilled than Boba, proving himself once again as a more proficient blaster user than nearly any other being in the galaxy. The combination of his jet boots, weapons such as the whipcord thrower and flamethrower, and knowing when he was outmatched in his mind and mental state, proved extremely useful in his numerous encounters with Jedi Knights and Masters. His work earned respect, and the respect of his enemies with his feats, even such as Jedi, as well as potential employers such as Count Dooku, gaining respect for the bounty hunter. He was also an exceptionally and innately skilled pilot, and flew the rogue-class Porax 38 starfighter Xanadu Blood during the Clone Wars, after acquiring it, along with 3 times his usual rate from Count Dooku and Darth Sidious, after stealing a holocron from within the depths of the archives inside the Jedi Temple. After the war's end, he piloted the Justifier. Bane proved himself a competent leader and tactician during his time and leadership and military tactician times, leading several different groups of bounty hunters on multiple occasions, such as when he sieged the Senate building and attempted to kidnap Chancellor Palpatine. He felt that all clone troopers fought the same and was confident in using similar methods on Republic soldiers. Approximately 5 years after the Empire's defeat at the Battle of Endor, even at an advanced age, at 71, Bane was still extremely and immensely skilled. Bane invested Cobb Vanth and Boba Fett in their duels on Tatooine by drawing his fastest blaster, having been killed only because he was shocked and bewildered by Fett when he approached to kill his former student. Bane was able to outduel Cobb Vanth Using his E11 blaster pistol, it should be noted Cobb Vanth had an exceptionally skilled draw, being able to kill 3 Pike Syndicate soldiers and nearly kill the 4th before any of them drew their blasters. An incredible feat, and Fett was also able, during the events of an unfinished Clone Wars episode, to keep up with his mentor Bane, being able to shoot each other at the exact same time during a gunslinger duel, causing Cad Bane to have severe damage to his head, and Fett's armor to have his iconic dent implanted within his Beskar armor, caused by his own mentor, Cad Bane. It was noted that if Boba Fett had not been wearing his dad's exploded armor, then he would have died to Bane, with Bane most likely killing him before Boba killed him. An incredible feat. Boba, even in his young age and his youth, was still inferior to Bane in blaster pistols, as Bane, despite exceeding the lifespan of his species, the Duros, was still more skilled than Boba Fett and possibly any other marksman in all of Star Wars history. Now, let's take a quick in-depth dive into the brief history and equipment that Cad Bane used during his tenure as a bounty hunter. Each of Bane's wrist gauntlets was equipped with a highly explosive and blast radius flamethrower. Cad Bane was known for wielding a pair of modified LL-30 blaster pistols with a high fire rate and a scope installed into the top, and wearing his trademark wide-brimmed hat that set him apart from other bounty hunters who preferred to wear helmets. He wore electro gauntlets with stunners and flamethrowers implanted into them in order to combat Jedi's lightsabers. After escaping the Republic Detonation Center, Bane equipped himself with a new pair of gauntlets and a Galar 15 blaster carbine on Nal Hutta in a gun shop. These weapons came equipped with a knockout gas that could discombobulate his enemies and incapacitate them just with a mere sniff. He also had breathing tubes implanted into his cheeks that went down his throat, which enabled him to survive being force choked, as it pumped oxygen from his breathing tank into his throat. Rocket boots helped him to keep up with the Force-imbued Jedi. His gauntlets were also capable of remote control and could operate many starship functions despite possibly not being even on the ship. Well, my friends, the last matter we need to address before we journey on the Justifier into a galaxy far, far away once again is Cad Bane's incredible marksman skills. Cad Bane was a better marksman than Cobb Vanth, Boba Fett, Han Solo, and many others, being able to outdraw Cobb Vanth when he approached Freetown and declared it a realm of the Syndicate, being able to outdraw Boba Fett, despite the latter having his blaster already drawn and nearly pointed at Bane, being able to kill him in the sands of Tatooine within Mos Espa. He was also able to outduel Boba Fett in the deleted Clone Wars episode, landing a hit on his helmet, an incredibly impressive feat considering Boba was around 30 years younger than Bane at this point. Cad Bane was an extremely skilled marksman, and when fighting Jedi in combat, he typically used his E11 blaster pistols to aim for the hill, disarming them of their lightsabers, where he could go in and kill them with his blaster easily. He was also fluent in martial arts, being able to incapacitate and knock back Jedi Master Quinlan Vos and contend with Obi-Wan Kenobi. This proves Cad Bane, in my opinion, is still the greatest bounty hunter of all time. And if you disagree, make sure to leave your opinions in the comments below, as I love Star Wars because of the unique debates and opinions that everybody has, and that many people believe that the most powerful character is almost entirely different from another's most powerful character. Anyway, acolytes, with that out of the way, I hope that you have enjoyed this dive into the equipment and skills and abilities that the best bounty hunter in the galaxy, Cad Bane, possessed. Cad Bane is in my top 3 favourite characters in all of fiction, being a skilled marksman and a ruthless tactician. Cad Bane proved himself and cemented himself as one of the greatest characters in all of history, and proved himself as one of the greatest bounty hunters, cementing his legacy within the Bounty Hunter Guide in the Star Wars galaxy, proving himself to be the greatest bounty hunter and marksman that the galaxy had ever seen. Goodbye, acolytes. Be sure to ascend to the master and strike down the subscribe button. It is your destiny. And I'll see you in a galaxy far, far away.